As the afternoon sun casts long shadows through the narrow alley, a group of guards emerges from the marketplace crowd, their chainmail clinking rhythmically with each determined stride. The lead guard, a burly man with a scarred face and a no-nonsense expression, raises a gauntleted hand and addresses the party, his voice stern and authoritative. By order of the magistrate, you are all under arrest for the disturbance last night at the Silver Flagon. Come quietly, or face the consequences. Around them, curious onlookers gather, whispering and pointing towards the adventurers as tension crackles in the air.
I step forward confidently, raising my hand slowly to show I mean no harm, and I address the lead guard with a sultry, calming tone. Surely there must be some misunderstanding. Perhaps we can discuss this over a drink at the Silver Flagon.
I step between Pyra and the guards, my shield held firmly in front of me, and my battle-scarred face set in a gruff scowl. Aye, let's settle this peacefully. But know this, lay a finger on us, and you'll face the wrath of my axe.
I slip my hands into my pockets and casually saunter to the edge of the crowd, giving the lead guard a roguish grin. Now, let's not make a scene. Who could possibly cause a disturbance worth arresting over a night at the Flagon anyway?
I step forward, the unsettling aura of death subtly radiating around me, and speak in a calm, eerie tone. In the grand tapestry woven by Kelemvor, all paths eventually converge to the inevitable end. Let us not hasten that journey without cause. Speak your evidence, and perhaps we may find a resolution that spares unnecessary suffering.
The lead guard narrows his eyes, unimpressed by the attempts to diffuse the tension. We have witnesses, and we found this. He pulls out a dagger smeared with dried blood and holds it aloft for the crowd to see. In the Silver Flagon. Matches the description of your little friend's favorite weapon. He glares at Wisp. As the surrounding guards step forward, hands on the hilts of their swords, the atmosphere grows thick with anticipation. The crowd gasps collectively, inching closer for a better view, as if the very air vibrates with the promise of conflict.
I smirk slightly, letting out a sultry chuckle as I intertwine my fingers and a small flame dances atop my palm. My dear guards, looks like you found quite the situation. But let's be reasonable. Why waste time on false accusations when we can simply investigate the real culprit? I throw a glance towards one of the nearby barrels, causing it to burst into flames, directing attention away from us.
I plant my feet firmly and raise my shield higher, bellowing at the guards with authority. Witnesses can be bought, and daggers can be planted. Let's settle this fair, trial by combat, right here, in front of the crowd. If we win, ye let us go.
I raise my hands in a placating gesture, eyeing Pyra's distraction with amusement. Using the chaos, I nimbly dart around the crowd toward the lead guard, quickly and stealthily swiping the dagger from his hand. This old thing? Hardly exclusive.
As chaos begins to unfurl, I step forward, casting calm emotions on the crowd and guards alike. In a voice that seems to echo from the grave itself, I intone, "Clever distractions and sharp blades cannot temper the truth. Let us find peace in the facts. For in Kelemvor's eyes, deception is but a fleeting shadow."
Seeing Wisp's nimble fingers snatch the dagger, the lead guard's face twists in rage, his composure shattering like fragile glass. "Enough! Seize them all!" he bellows, drawing his sword. The guards charge, but are momentarily slowed as Seraph's calming magic washes over them, their steps turning hesitant and sluggish. Amidst the chaos, the crowd's murmurs shift from curiosity to panic, and the marketplace erupts into disarray.
I step back smoothly into the shadows, allowing the flickering flames in my hand to cast an eerie glow on my face. I conjure a ring of fire around the market square, containing the panic and separating us from the guards. Let's keep this contained, shall we?
I brandish my axe and slam its hilt against my shield, creating a resonant clang that cuts through the air. Enough of this madness! Stand down, or face a dwarf's fury!
Using the momentary hesitation caused by Seraph's calming spell and the chaos of Pyra's fire, I swiftly scale a nearby stack of crates to gain a higher vantage point. Hey, how about we all take a deep breath and not charge headfirst into a fire,
With the raging flames casting macabre shadows and the crowd teetering on the precipice of panic, I raise my hand and use my turn undead ability, channeling the divine energy of Kelemvor. A wave of deathly calm pulses outward, and I intone, "In the face of death even the bravest tremble. Let your anger fall away and embrace the stillness."
Amidst the crackling flames and Seraph's eerie wave of calm, the lead guard's expression morphs from anger to unnerving determination. "Enough theatrics!" he yells, breaking through the calming magic with sheer will and striking at Pyra with his sword, but she dances backward, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. Another guard, less resolute, finds himself ensnared by Wisp's nimble fingers, tripping headlong into Thoradin's shield. The dwarf's mighty axe swings upward, cleaving through chainmail and sending the guard crashing to the ground in a final decisive thud.
With the firelight dancing in my eyes and the guard's sword narrowly missing me, I channel my fury and focus on the ground beneath their feet. "You should have taken my offer," I hiss, then conjure a scorching line of molten magma towards the guards, aiming to create a barrier that keeps them at bay.
I hoist my shield high to cover Pyra and step forward to meet the advancing guards, my voice a growl of pure iron. "Back off! This isn't a battle ye can win, and you'll regret the day ye drew steel against us."
With Pyra's fiery barrier and Thoradin's imposing shield giving me some cover, I slip through the chaos, aiming to get behind the lead guard. Once there, I uncap a vial of sleeping poison and deftly apply it to my dagger. "Time for a little nap, big guy," I mutter, moving to jab him swiftly in the back.
As the flames rage and the guards falter, I ready myself for the next ominous move. I cast Spiritual Weapon, summoning a spectral scythe of Kelemvor to float menacingly beside me. Death whispers to us all, heed its call and stand down.
As Pyra conjures the molten magma and Thoradin steps forward, the earth beneath the guards cracks and fissures in response. The searing heat forces several guards to jump back, their courage faltering as they see their comrades stumble. The lead guard, however, hears Wisp's whisper too late. The young rogue's poisoned dagger slips into the man's back, and his eyes go wide with shock as he collapses in a heap. Seraph's spectral scythe hovers ominously, ready to deal death, making the remaining guards hesitate as dread seeps into their expressions.
With the lead guard collapsing and the remaining guards hesitating, I let the flames in my hands grow larger and hotter. "Last chance to walk away," I declare, my voice a fierce command. I then toss the blazing fireball into the air, letting it explode above us in a spectacular display emphasizing the threat.
Seeing the lead guard fall and the others hesitating, I ground my stance and raise my axe high, its blade gleaming in the firelight. "You heard the lady! Drop your weapons and yield, or you'll face the wrath of a dwarf on a bad day!"
With the lead guard down and the others wavering, I pocket the empty vial and turn my attention to the retreating guards. Staying nimble and light on my feet, I dart between the guards, grabbing the keys from the lead guard's belt. "Best listen to Thoradin if you value your limbs."
With the remaining guards wavering in their resolve, I step forward, the spectral scythe by my side hovering ominously. Channeling the divine energy of Kelemvor, I cast command on the most hesitant-looking guard and speak a single cold word. "Flee."
Seeing the lead guard felled and the others faltering, the remaining guards exchange terrified glances, clutching their swords with trembling hands. Seraph's command hits the most hesitant guard like a hammer to the psyche. His eyes widen in horror, and he drops his weapon, turning to sprint away from the chaos. The other guards, seeing their comrade flee and the resolute threat of Pyra's flames, Thoradin's axe, Wisp's nimble strikes, and Seraph's divine might, follow suit, scattering into the marketplace with panicked urgency. The once crowded alleyway quiets, the air still thick with the scent of flame and fear.
With the guards scattering and the marketplace falling silent, I let the flames in my hands die down to embers. I turn back to the group, a satisfied smirk playing on my lips. Well, that was quite the show, wasn't it?
I let out a rough, gravelly chuckle as the guards scatter and lower my axe. Aye, a fine distraction and an even finer victory. Now, let's get moving before they get reinforcements, aye?
I twirl the stolen keys in my hand with a mischievous grin, giving a bow to my comrades. After you fine folks, let's vanish before we overstay our welcome. I then gesture towards a narrow side street for an easy escape.
I let the spectral scythe dissipate into the shadows and turn to my companions, my eyes gleaming with an eerie light. The hand of Kelemvor has stayed our demise today, but his gaze is ever watchful. Let us vanish before fate conspires anew. I then prepare to follow Wisp down the narrow side street.
As the adventurers swiftly make their escape through the narrow side street, the distant sounds of marketplace chaos fade into a tense quiet. The stone alleyways twist and turn like a labyrinth, every shadow stretching eerily in the dwindling light. Ahead, the path opens up into a dimly lit courtyard, dotted with flickering lanterns, and a single figure stands in the center, a cloaked woman with piercing green eyes that seem to glow in the dusk. "Leaving so soon? You're making quite the impression in our fair city," she intones softly, her voice laced with curiosity and menace.
I stride confidently forward, letting the embers in my hand flare up just enough to cast an intimidating glow on my face. "We tend to leave an impression wherever we go," I say with a teasing smirk, letting a small flame dance across my fingertips. "But who might you be, looking to keep us from our next act?"
I step forward, positioning myself slightly in front of Pyra with my shield raised, eyes narrowing at the cloaked woman. "Aye, speak quick, lass. We've no time for idle chat. State your business and make it good, or we'll be moving on."
Keeping close to the shadows, I silently sidestep towards the edge of the courtyard, ready to circle behind the cloaked woman. "Fancy meeting you here. Care to share what you find so fascinating about us?" I ask with a playful grin, maintaining my stealthy approach.
I step forward, my eyes locking onto the cloaked woman's piercing green gaze, and let my unsettling aura radiate softly. In Kelemvor's domain, curiosity is but a prelude to the inevitable end. State your intent, or be prepared to face the silence that awaits us all. I maintain my composure, ready to cast detect evil and good if necessary.
The cloaked woman smiles, her green eyes flickering with an unsettling light. "Who I am is of little consequence. What matters is that you've caught the interest of some very powerful entities in this city, and they don't take kindly to disturbances." With a swift, fluid motion, she draws a slender silver blade, its edge gleaming with a faint, ethereal glow. "Now, will you come quietly? Or must we dance with death this evening?"
I let my hands flare up, embers gleaming brightly as I step forward with a confidence that radiates heat. "Dance with death, you say?" I purr, a seductive edge to my voice. "I prefer to lead." With that, I conjure a swirling ring of fire around the cloaked woman, aiming to trap her temporarily and give us a moment to strategize.
I raise my shield high, stepping closer to the cloaked woman, my eyes locked onto her with a fierce gaze. "If it's a dance ye want, then I'll be your partner," I growl, planting my feet firmly and preparing to block or counter her next move. "Touch any of us, and your blade will find naught but cold steel and dwarven rage."
Playing off Pyra's fiery ring and Thoradin's taunting, I use the distraction to slip into the shadows, circling behind the cloaked woman with silent practice steps. I then position myself to strike if needed, but for now, I whisper from the darkness. "Careful now, lass. Looks like you've got more than one partner in this dance."
I let out a chilling breath as I step forward, Kelemvor's spectral scythe appearing at my side once more. I cast Detect Evil and Good, my voice a resonant whisper. "Show your true nature, for in the eyes of Kelemvor, no mask can hide the soul's intent."